robot. So it's a legged mobility platform that we're making for autonomous exploration of caves on Mars. It's the ultimate goal. A lot of testing here on Earth. So it's 4 legs, and it can walk around, it can stand, and we'll show you a bit of what it can do. So take it away.
Whoa! Whoa.
So it's a robotic platform. Each of the legs
Very
can
cool.
move around. It's got shoulders and elbows. And it's got all these different types of motions that it can do.
That is cool.
On each of the joints, it has sensors for where the joint is and how much force there is to detect how it moves. You can see it's got all that motion you can do.
Oh. Wow.
And so we can get it to walk in different kinds of ways. So to go just normal walk. So we just do, just go full speed. So this is walking backwards and forwards. How many legs does it have off the ground at one time? Just keep going back and forward. Can you see? How many feet are off the ground at one time?
2?
2, right? So this is just kind of normal walking. But what we can do autonomously is if we detect it slipping, like if it's on mud, for instance, we can go into crawl mode. And we can also crouch lower, for instance, if we have to go below like a low ceiling in a cave, and we can go and crawl.
Oh, wow.
And how many feet are off the ground now at one time?
1.
Just
One.
one. Anyone else?
1.
Yeah, you guys are right. So this is like you're creeping along. Either you're trying to sneak into somewhere, or you're trying to be careful not to slip over. You want to go high? But if we want to step over stuff, maybe we need to stand high. It makes it easier to step over different obstacles. But obviously we're going to hit a low ceiling a bit sooner. These are all things that you can't really do with a wheeled platform, such as Spot's friend Husky that you see on the side. It's the benefit of a legged platform. Now, who wants to make it a bit more challenging for it? Make a challenge for Spot?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are friendly. I'm kidding, it's great to make a challenge. Alright, simple one. Go Spot. Can you do it? That's fine. It stepped on it, but it was kind of no worries. Even if the bag moved. Alright, let's make it a bit harder. Alright, off you go, Spot. Whoa, what happened there? Anyone see? Lifted up the legs, and anyone else see anything else? It kind of stepped on with some of them lifted over. So you can see it can lift its leg higher. How does it know that it can lift its leg over? Anyone? Sensors? Do you have something?
Because he knows when it happens, so they can see what's actually in front of them.
It can see what's in front of it, that's right. Do you want to show the sensors to them? Just turn and face the audience and show the cameras in front. So we're looking for, can you see the cameras on the yellow part? It's looking at you, hello. See, these are the cameras here. These are the sensors that you're talking about. Now can you turn to the side? So you can see the cameras on the side. Anyone? Yeah? Can you see them there?
Ah.
And what about on the back? Do dogs have eyes on the back of their head? Anyone? No?
This one does.
Oh, it's a robot dog, I guess. You see the camera there? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a camera in the back. Just go towards you a bit. So with these cameras all around it, they're both cameras kind of like on your phone, which you can see color, but also they're depth cameras. So kind of like stereo, how we have 2 eyes. And with that, we can see in 3D all around it. Kind of in like a 1 meter box around it. So just like you guys are saying, you can see this, so you can plan to step over, or you can plan to step on it. Let's make it a bit more challenging, see what it can do. Okay, go. So you can see sometimes it steps on it. Even if the bag moves, it can adapt though. Because even if it's not what it sees, it assumes the world's static, but it can sense that its leg's moving and it can adapt its balance to do that.
Wow.
Just go over a few more times. Each time's a bit different. You can do it backwards as well because it's got the camera on the back. And then go back. Alright, so let's give it another challenge. Take this out of the way. Alright, I've stolen someone's drink bottle. Forward, someone's drink bottle. So this is something, is it going to be able to see this? Yes or no? Hands up for yes, it's going to see it. Okay, good. I'm glad you got confidence in Spot. Is it going to kick it over? Hands up for yes. Okay, not so much confidence in Spot. Alright, so, okay, to be clear, this demo, someone is driving it. Do you want to show the controller? So it looks like it's got a tablet, which is basically an Android tablet, and an Xbox controller on the outside. Just controls that people are familiar with. He's just sending commands, just like you would drive an RC car, just forward, backwards, left, right. I'm going to put this right in front, and someone's just going to drive forward, and a Spot is making the decisions on where to place its legs. Oh, they kicked it. Anyone see what happened there? Yeah?
He kicked it, but it didn't fall over because he knows what it's doing.
Yeah, he kind of kicked it on the side a bit because we gave him some socks that are a little bit big. Didn't want to see what happened with the back leg.
It stepped over it.
It stepped over it. Okay. Going backwards is a bit harder because it's got less cameras, but let's see what happens.
Oh.
Okay, kind of knocked it with its like forearm. It was like this, and it stepped over again. Try a few more times, see if you can kick it. So it's able to kind of step around in the body because you can see it, right? Just like if you're walking, if you can see it, you're probably not going to kick it. It doesn't really matter if it kicks it because it'll be able to adapt to it. But that's where the capabilities are there.
Oh.
It almost got it. Alright, so you see, where did it hit it? Did anyone see where it hit the bottle? Which part of its arm? Yeah? Yeah, so hit it with that part. So if its leg's like this, it hit it with that part there. So if anyone's seen the fact sheet, that part there, it says it goes downstairs backwards. Did anyone guess why it likes to go downstairs backwards? Let's do some exercise with it. I want you to crouch down. I'm going to crouch down as a human. So just go, change the height down. So bend down, and then go back up. Okay, which way do its knees bend? Go down again.
Oh, the opposite way.
And how is it different to me as a human? Yeah?
Because we do it this way, but the robot does it the opposite way.
The robot does the opposite way, right?
Yeah.
So when I go downstairs, imagine this is like the top of a step. If I bend my knees, my bottom leg goes away from the step. So we can go downstairs forward fine. If it bends its knees, crouch down, it starts to get close to the bottle. So it's better at going down backwards so its knees bend away from the stairs. It's just the fact it's a little bit weird with its knees bending backwards. So I'll just move that. Alright, so let's give it something that it can't walk over, okay? So, Sungwell, I want you to drive it as fast as you can into something that's going to cause it to crash. That isn't a person. When you go to this car, oh, it's okay, it's okay.
Oh.
So why is that happening? Anyone? Somewhere's just pressing forward. Yeah?
That's because the front body didn't move into it.
That's right, we can see it. It sees it and it's like, well, I can't step over that. It's trying to go around it. It's kind of moving side to side.
What about a rock?
Whether a rock, we could try that rock. It's kind of in between. It may work, it may not. And so it's got that smarts to know how to go over rough terrain, how to not run into things that are dangerous. And that's just kind of, throw these out, you can go backwards and forwards a bit. That's kind of the baseline capability. What we're doing is everything on top of the yellow platform. This is a computer, it's different sensors. All these sensors are the same as what you can see there. There's a 3D sensor on the bottom right, there's a thermal sensor, there's visual cameras. That's to make it autonomous. So instead of Sungwoo sending commands through a joystick, our computer and autonomy is sending it commands on where to go. And so, yes, it's very capable of where it can step, but we want to decide where to drive. So for instance, if I did this, put all these obstacles here, Spot could drive over it, he could probably step over it, just kind of come straight over. It kind of does it, but it's a little bit slippery, right? You want to go back? It's not the most stable. Now if Sungwoo knows, actually I don't want to go over this because it's a bit risky, how would you get over here without walking on this Sungwoo? Okay, so Sungwoo still went over the obstacles. What do you want to do to avoid the obstacles? So now come over here without walking over obstacles. Okay, so they're going to the side, and there's just a bottle there. It's very easy. So you see, that's kind of obvious, right? But you're all humans, you're very smart. We're trying to make that autonomous in places it's never seen before. So it's choosing the low risk areas to go. Sometimes it's going to be lots of obstacles because there's nowhere else to go because we're in a cave. But that's what the autonomy is doing, using the LiDAR, the 3D sensor, to build a map of the environment and then decide where we can drive to go around. All right, let's try something a little bit different. I want you to step over this. So just go over like the small part. Okay, pretty easy, right? Now go into the really low crawling mode and try it again. Just turn around, don't go backwards there. So, is this going to be harder or easier when it's low down? Imagine there's like a cave ceiling that's right here, so it has to crouch. Harder? Anyone else?
Easier.
Harder.
Easier? Okay, let's see. Oh, it kind of didn't. Yeah, that didn't look easy, did it?
Oh no.
So pretty hard. Okay, now turn around and maybe assume there's no low ceiling. Go really high. Okay, if it stands higher, is it going to be easier or harder? Hands up for easier.
Easier.
Okay, hands up for harder. Okay, let's see. You guys are smart. But still stepped on it. But it had an easy job, right? It didn't look as unstable or floating around. We're going to try it again. So these are things where we can adapt how it's moving based on the obstacles that we see. So in this case, it mostly stepped over. It wasn't too high, so it just stepped on it as it was going through. Go back to medium height. Any questions? Yeah? Oh, was it waving? Was it waving me? Any questions?
Does it make any?
Yeah?
Can it roll over on its side?
Can it roll over on its side? Yes, in a way. So it's able to recover if it falls over. Now we don't want to fall over here because it might damage some of the R sensors on top. But if it falls over, it can roll over from its side to its tummy. And once it's on its tummy, you want to sit down somewhere. Once it's back on its tummy, so imagine it's rolled over on its side. It can move its arms around to kind of push itself back on its tummy. Then once it's on its tummy, I don't know if that's an Australian word, once it's on its stomach like it is now, then it can stand up and just like you saw at the start. So it doesn't roll onto its side, it kind of comes back from its side to go onto its stomach. Did you have something?
Does it make any decisions on what it can step on as far as making it soft or hard that can support weight or?
Yeah, what was the question? So the question was, does it make a decision on what it's stepping on? Like if it's something soft or something hard, something that can support its weight? No, that's actually really hard. The main sensor it's using to decide where to step is kind of like that sensor you see on the bottom right behind Barry's head. It's 3D. So it's stretching out a bunch of points that basically give the distance and angle from where it is. So it's a 3D image of what's around it. But the 3D of this, like soft thing compared to this hard thing, look very much the same. And so what we need to do, and which actually is this project here, does a lot of that, is using more what we call semantics. So using color to understand what it is. Like if I ask, so I want you guys to vote, is this soft or hard? Without touching it. Hard. How do you know? Because it's a rock. You guys are smart. What about this? Is this soft or hard?
Soft.
Soft. How do you know?
It's a beanbag.
It's a beanbag. What about this? Is this soft or hard?
Soft.
Maybe so. Come in between, right? Why? How do you know?
That's because we saw it it's made of plastic.
You saw it.
Made of plastic.
Made of plastic, made something rubber. Yeah. So this is what we call semantic. You understand what the thing is. And how do you understand it? Okay, try again, okay? I want you to close your eyes and keep them shut. All right. Okay, is this thing in my hand hard or soft? Okay, hard? Soft, anyone?
No peeking.
It's a bit difficult, right? Soft. Okay, so it's the soft beanbag again. But you see, you use your eyes, you can just see it and you understand what it is. So we're trying to train it to do the same thing. One of the things you see there on the sensors there on the bottom left, this is detecting objects. It's saying that there's a backpack, there's a fire extinguisher. This is simple for search and rescue applications. But what we're doing here is detecting the nature of the terrain. Is it a bush that I can drive over? Is it something soft I can step on? Is it mud that's going to be slippery, so I have to go into the crawl mode? Or is it a rock that's fine to walk on? So that's something that we're working on, is to understand, just like you guys do. Yep.
Can it jump?
Can it jump? We get that question a lot. It has the capability to do some jumps. If you search Boston Dynamics spot dancing, it'll be doing jumps like kind of crossing its leg over, dance moves type stuff. We don't make it jump. There's a cool idea for low gravity worlds. If we were to go to the moon or something where it's got less gravity, maybe it can help us to go into places, but probably not the safest way to move around. There is some work we do on hopping on comets and asteroids where a jump can actually send you into orbit. But we don't have the capability to control a jump on this. We don't really want to. You got a question? Okay, same question. Yep.
If it's in a cave and it has there's area for like a vertical, can it like put its arms and go up like this to get out?
Yeah, that'd be really cool. So can it climb up like a vertical pathway with its arms? As it is, no. That'd be a really cool kind of experiment or research to see can you make it, because its legs are very capable of moving around. They are optimized for walking though. There is other research by Boston Dynamics to do different types of motion. We do have other research here on climbing, where it's basically a rock climber, but it's got this one called microspine grippers. They can grip onto rock. It doesn't have to have like a handle, it just grips onto bare rock. That's just for climbing. The snake robot is climbing in ice, but this one, yeah, if it has to go vertical, it probably can only go up to 45 degrees, and that's about its limit. Anyone else? Yep. How does it detect the hardness of the object? It doesn't. But it does have, so it's got different joints in it. So let's do a roll motion. Okay, a roll motion. So on the shoulders it rolls its arm, and then as it walks forward,